Well, I'm doing a video on my tablet. I've never done this before on my tablet, so I wanted to see how it worked. And I thought I'd do a quick update. And I'm actually quite happy. A lot better than the last video I did. I am right now at 297 or 298. So I am now in Two-ville officially, which is wonderful. And today, for some reason, I kept telling myself I feel like $1,000,000. I was wearing an outfit that I haven't been able to wear for, it must be the better part of almost 10 years. And it's still, like brand new because I didn't wear it for very long before I got to the point where I couldn't do it up or unzip it. So I'm quite impressed with that. And I also had my 3-month appointment back on the 23rd of January, I think. And they told me that I wasn't eating enough, which was probably why I was, the weight loss was slowing down. And on that day, I was 307. So I had actually gained a couple of pounds before I went. Now, of course, Mother Nature struck the day after, so that explained a lot. But right now, like I said, I think I'm 297 this morning, and I couldn't be happier. I mean, I still can't get used to the weight loss. I mean, it may sound crazy, but I do recall, who was it the other day that I was watching that was saying the same thing, that they had found that, it was, I don't know, it's surreal to me. I mean, the other thing too is I was thinking about, who was it I was watching, and they were talking about mindset milestones, something along that line. Anyway, I was thinking about some things the other day, and one of the main things that came across to me was the fact that we become what we think. I'm learning this more and more as I get older, and it's something I really wish that I wish I could just hand it to people on a platter and they'd get it. Because what I thought when I was young, 25 years ago, I was very negative, no self-confidence, felt everybody hated me. It was awful. And I attracted those kind of people to my life, so I got what I thought. But the other thing is that when I was about somewhere between 18 and 20, I want to say, I worked at a restaurant, and a girl came in, and she was sitting in a chair, and it was one of those padded chairs, padded seat, padded back with the metal arms, the silver metal arms. And when she sat in the chair, her bottom half of her body literally exploded or bulged outside around, like around the arms of the chair. And I remember vividly thinking to myself, please never let me be that way. I mean, I was already worried about my body image, already stressing about weight, and back then I didn't have any. I had a small waist, and I mean, I might have had a little bit of weight, but it was on my legs and might have been a bit on my butt. But for the most part, I was average. I was not obese at that point. And I remember I was so self-conscious about my body, and I didn't want to be like that. I didn't want to ever see me in a situation where I was like that. And I remember looking at my grandmother, and I remember my grandmother was an overweight woman, and she'd gone from a cane to a walker to a wheelchair, and I never wanted to be like her. And anyway, and then one day I thought, it was all too clear to me that I had become the girl in the chair. I was the person who was sitting in the same style of chair who was now exploding out of the chair. And fearful that the chair was going to break from underneath me. Hated going into a restaurant because I hated the thought of having booth issues. Like if the table didn't move in a booth, I didn't want to know part of it because I knew it wouldn't fit. In fact, one of the worst experiences of being overweight that I ever had was going to a steakhouse in Des Moines, Iowa with my family, and we were seated in the bar area. So the booths were up on a platform to make the seating level with the bar stools or the bar chairs. And I went to sit down, and I very quickly stepped back because I wouldn't fit. And so my dad had said to me, well, just grab one of the bar chairs and put it at the end of the table. And, I didn't really want to do that because it would still make me stand out, but I did it anyway. And when I was just about to, I'm 5'1", so me getting up on a bar stool is absolutely hilarious in and of itself. It's a task and a half. And when you put all that extra weight on a person, not pleasant. So anyway, I turned around and I got up on the bar stool. It was just about up on the bar stool, and this waitress walked by, and it wasn't like she said it quietly. I mean, she almost bellowed, like yelled that, "Oh no, you can't sit there, because if you sit there, it's fire code regulations and you're, whatever." I was absolutely humiliated. And of course, by this time, everybody in that quarter of the restaurant, not even just the bar area, but it was the bar and beyond, was now looking in our direction. So that was just, I wanted to crawl under a rock, if there was one big enough. Anyway, I wanted to crawl under a rock because I was so humiliated by her attitude and actions. So anyhow, they ended up moving us to another table, but it just ruined my whole day. In fact, it played on my mind for a couple of days. And after that, I never wanted any part of a booth in a restaurant. Well, now I can sit in a booth and it's not an issue. And I actually have space. In fact, even between me and the steering wheel, for example, my sister made a comment, and I'm thinner now than I was then because the weight's coming off, like the inches are coming off so quickly, and so is the weight. But my sister reached out and put, she'd never commented on it before, but she wanted to make a point of the fact that, oh my gosh, look at the space between you and the steering wheel, because there was. And so these are the little non-scale victories, or NSVs, that really stand out to me right now. The clothes, for example, my winter coat that I've worn for the last 5 years is too big on me now. I feel like a little kid with, the really long sleeves on that are dangling to the ground. Anyway, so that coat is hanging in the closet. It's not like I'm going to keep it. I will get rid of it, but I'm waiting until I get it, like a good bag full of stuff, and then I take it to a Bible for Missions store here, which is a thrift store. And there was a leather coat that was given to me. Really nice leather coat. But I hadn't been able to wear it before because it was too tight in the stomach, and it was, but now it's starting to get a little bit big on me. There was a coat I couldn't do up anymore. And I had tried it when I first started wearing the leather coat, which was just a little, like, I mean, it wasn't tight, but, it really, there wasn't any room, but there's room in it now. And anyway, I put on this other coat that was hanging in the closet. And at the time I had tried it, when I tried the leather coat, it was still a little too tight on the stomach. And now, no issues. No issues at all with it. But it's not a great coat, so it's just one that I'm going to wear for, when I'm not working, or when I'm not out and about for anything other than, and, just stores or socializing, that kind of thing. And the other thing is my feet. My feet are a good size smaller. I mean, I always had about a size 7 to a 7.5 foot when I was younger. And it depended on the shoemaker, because I have wide feet, not long feet. And I remember a boyfriend that I had back when I was, in my early teens. And I walked him to the door one night because Mom said it was time for him to go home. Walked him to the door one night, and he's bent down putting his shoes on, doing up his shoes, and he looks at my feet, which were bare feet. I didn't have any socks on. And he starts laughing, and I said, "What's so funny?" He says, "I can't believe such tiny little feet carry you around." Well, I didn't think my feet were tiny. I know women who have size 5 feet, but I guess in comparison, because my feet are a little wider, not like duck feet or anything like that, but they're a little bit wider. Anyway, so I have found that my shoes that I was wearing before I started losing weight are getting too big, but they're going to need to be replaced anyway, and so I'm not replacing them right now because it's winter, and I'll just wear the shoes that I have, and then in the spring I'll start looking at new shoes. But I don't know, it's just I can't get my head around the fact that I'm thinner. It's silly. I know I'm going to be. I know I'm going to lose weight with this surgery. I mean, there's really no way that I wouldn't be. But I can't, I don't know. Like I said, it's just surreal. I just can't get used to the idea. I mean, inevitably, it will become normal. It'll become familiar and an average. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm finally in the 200s. I haven't been this weight since before 2003, because 2003 I was 304. So it would have been before that. And I think the next lowest weight that it would be 1998, and I was 263, in that neighborhood. So anyway, everything's moving in the right direction. And I think when did that last video, that was probably not long before Mother Nature is too. And I mean, I already deal with depression, but it's really bad right before that, if I get that time of the month, because it's not always the same. But anyway, if that happens, then I get really kind of in a bad place in my mind, and that's probably what was going on, because for the most part, I'm a pretty positive person. Never used to be, but I am now. Because one day I suddenly got it. I suddenly realized that your mindset and how positive you feel, it's a choice. I can choose to be happy, and I can choose not to let things suck my joy. And that's what I did. And so that's exactly what's happened. And I'm pretty happy about the way things are going. Now, I did a full body shot today, and I don't know. I don't look like I feel. I don't think a picture ever does look like I feel on the inside. But I guess you can see the difference. I have a hard time seeing the difference. Other people see the difference so much easier than me, but where I notice it the most is in my neck. I actually have a neck. It's not like a chin that connects to the chest. It's a neck. Anyway, I know that's silly, but I'm in a pretty good place right now. And I hope to stay there. But, I mean, I will stay there. But like I said, it's just, I'm still having a hard time adjusting and getting used to the change in my body, because I've been, for the majority of the last 5 to 7 years, I've been in the 340s, and now to be under 300 pounds, wow, it's awesome. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye.